And we lost
We
Sam's.
just lost Sam right when we go live. There he is. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast. My goodness, see, Sam got
Love
me all
it.
flustered. Hopefully,
Yeah,
everything's
sure.
working correctly. It looks like it is this time.
Yeah, no, that was my fault. You just click the wrong button sometimes. Things happen.
Sometimes shit happens. You know,
Now
I
it's a
mean,
little higher than you think it's gonna go. Anyways, how's everybody doing this week? I'm feeling great.
doing great.
Where is that turn my screen green button? Where is it?
It is just the turn off the camera button. Well, that is apparently
Oh,
Killed it, Sam. Loving it.
you know it. Okay, what do we got? What do we got on the slate? First thing up,
NBA free
First
agency.
NBA
free
free
agency.
agency. All right.
It was kind of boring.
It was kind
For
of very
NBA
boring.
for NBA
Yeah,
free
I
agency
know.
standards, this was a very weak one to me.
I'm already
It's real-
going to sleep.
I mean, it was like right after it started. I mean, it was like, hey, Paul George has signed with Philadelphia, and okay, it's over. No, Philadelphia then re-signs Maxey, and you're like, okay, now everything's just
There was a lot of
slowly.
movement. Not a ton of movement, right?
Yeah, teams just seem to be repositioning.
Yeah.
So
But Paul
Obviously.
George going
The
to
Paul-
the Sixers, do you think that moves the needle at all for Paul George or the Sixers?
I mean, it obviously makes the Sixers a better basketball team. Like, no doubt about it. I think the bigger thing to me is the re-signing of Maxey than the signing of Paul George. But I do think,
Okay.
listen, Paul George gives you another superstar in case Embiid gets banged up again. When Embiid gets banged up again,
No doubt.
Paul George is a guy who also struggles with injuries as well throughout his career, as we've seen, especially the latter half. But he definitely, come playoff time, that's when this move really pays off for you if you're the Sixers. You hope, and the Sixers have
Right.
quietly done very well in this free agency. Well, not even quietly; they've been screaming from the rooftops.
Okay. So that being said, do you think Paul George, given where he's at in his career, come for playoff time, to get him there to where he's effective, and healthy? You gotta. How often can you play him during the regular season? Right? Like how?
You obviously don't. Paul George isn't one of those guys that you tend to sit there and put. They don't really. Last year, I think he played a majority of them, but I don't think you just sit there and worry about the load management as much. I think Paul George will play 70+ games this season, as long as health is on his side. All things considered,
You hope so.
you would
Yeah.
think that you could see him in somewhere in the 70+ range of games, and I think that Philadelphia has a good shot of making it to an Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think that. Obviously, a lot of variables happen throughout the NBA season, but obviously on paper, you look at this team and you say they do have a good possibility.
How long has Philly been a piece away? Right.
Absolutely, and this is no. I like this move better than when they brought in James Harden. I'll give them
Okay.
that. I
Right.
do enjoy this better than the Harden pickup. I think that the fit could be fairly good. Nick Nurse being their coach, obviously, I like the Paul George fit. So yeah, Paul George has seemed to fit in pretty well everywhere he's gone. He just doesn't seem to. It doesn't. I compare it to Harden.
Nobody dislikes have
Yeah. The
Please,
last time
Brown.
we've seen Paul George go deep in a postseason, he was in the Eastern Conference.
We
which
just
he
haven't.
returned to. So
Okay, yeah, right. I mean, when was that with the Pacers? Jeez,
absolutely, yes. The last time he made it to an Eastern Conference Finals was with the Indiana
a
Pacers.
long time ago.
A
Okay.
very long time ago.
But so that being said, I mean, Paul George hasn't really seen much success in his career, like team success.
Yeah.
Finally in his latent years, do you think he can pull that off with the Sixers?
Let's see, guy
good of
who-
a fit? How good of a
God-
fit do you think he is with them?
I mean, guy who could never seem to get it done with team that can never seem to get it done. It seems like a match made in heaven, right? Like, doesn't it seem like they're the perfect combo? Neither of them can get it done.
does it seem like a combo that could get it done, or a combo that's going to continue to,
I still don't think
be
they're
what they
better
are?
than. I still don't think they're better than a healthy Bucks team, and I don't think they're better than the Boston Celtics.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, but it's like I'll say every year, and I meant it this year when I said it. The team that Boston has to worry about every year is themselves. They're going to beat themselves. They do that most of the time. When they don't have success, it's because of something they've done.
Well,
So,
hey,
like,
this year it didn't happen this year.
They didn't, absolutely. But they're a team they're another team. I know that I'm going to jump a little bit ahead here, but might as well just get it out of the way while we're talking about re-signings and stuff like that before we just really. But the Celtics spent big money to keep their team intact. Love it. Derek White getting a 4-year, 125.9 extension. Earned that.
Celtics could be that team that finally break, like,
The thing with Boston is
like, in the NBA back on track of always having that team that's dominant.
They haven't given themselves any wiggle room. There is no wiggle room in Boston, because then you also re-signed Jason Tatum to $314 million contract, which is the highest paid, which topped Jaylen Brown's, which was over 300. You have two players being paid over $300 million in their contracts.
You're spending a ton of money. How do they do that? Is there a cap in there? There's like a luxury tax or something?
Yeah, they are in that second bill. I believe they are in that second turbine of it. Especially because you have Porzingis, who's not on a small contract. Al Horford, I'm sure, is getting paid. Their starting five has got to be the most expensive in NBA history.
Well,
because you have two guys making $300 million in there, which are NBA record.
I mean, when you hoist trophies, it's worth it, I guess.
Yeah, so that's why I said the Boston Celtics aren't gonna get there's nothing coming in that's gonna help them get better. They just gotta fucking do it. They gotta stay at how good as they were. So that could be something to look at as problematic for the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, right?
Yeah, there's no wiggle room for this team.
The other teams are going to start passing you up. All right. It can happen in a year.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to say. I just figured we'd throw him in there. Get him out.
Then let's move on. DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan today ended up finding a location.
Right? Do you think that helps the King? Like, the Kings, a team that's never been great, right? But finally has a little bit of life in them, right? Finally, like,
it's fucking Pepsi and Coke.
They're trying to taste some playoff success here. Maybe a guy away. Does DeMar DeRozan help them in any sort? Does he get them to the second round of the playoffs? I'm
gonna sound like a broken record. It sounds like a story of a guy who doesn't have playoff success going to a team who hasn't had playoff success.
Now, DeMar DeRozan has seen some success. Is he not? Like,
he's not seen as much as Paul George has seen in his career.
No,
DeMar DeRozan was not a part of that championship team, and he was traded for Kawhi Leonard in that championship run for the Raptors. He was actually the catalyst for the Raptors winning, because as soon as they got rid of DeMar DeRozan, they won a championship.
That's right. Right.
So I'm just it seems very similar to Paul George to me. And really, I mean, he's replacing a Harrison Barnes, which, gun to my head, is he really that much better than a Harrison Barnes? He's a worse outside shooter than Harrison Barnes is a better 3-point shooter, while DeMar DeRozan is a better mid-range player. Okay. So it really comes down to, do you value somebody who clogs up the lane, or do you value a guy that hits from the corner three? And I think that this is kind of a downgrade from the Harrison Barnes, because I think that
really, DeMar DeRozan is a downgrade from Harrison Barnes.
In this offense. Okay. In this offense, I think he is, because you've already... I don't know. You don't have a ton of shooting as it is, so you got less. And I progressively have been getting rid of shooting on this team for years. So.
All right. Okay. That's, don't know.
But I didn't agree with him getting rid of Tyrese Halliburton, and then they ended up going to the playoffs right after getting rid of Tyrese Halliburton. But Tyrese Halliburton has turned into arguably as an all-star over in Indiana, and the catalyst for that team is being good. So,
Well, good. Well, I mean, that's good for him.
they should have kept him.
Can we move on to something fun?
Yeah. Well, we got
the Lakers. The
the
Lakers are always fun. They're always fun, especially when the drama is like,
like everybody's focus. It's all smokescreen. It's all smokescreen. You're all focusing on the wrong disappointing factors of the Lakers. That's what everybody's doing. The Lakers have done other things to be disappointed.
Re-signing LeBron and signing his son are not the things you should be disappointed in.
No, doing something that makes LeBron happy is pissing everybody off.
He's the only reason you're relevant.
Only reason this team is not dog shit is because of LeBron James. Like,
yeah, man. Like,
and he should not be that. He should not be the reason that this team is as good.
No. This is a classic thing of like a bad team, like for people blaming the worst player on a bad team, right?
Yeah.
You know, for like for the team not being good, when that's not the case, you know, you're like, no, it's the other pieces, not their best player.
Well, it's funny too because LeBron was saying, or like since at least since the end of the season, that he was willing to take less if they go and get somebody, and then they didn't get anybody, and they re-signed him to the max. There was a hard deadline on like how long he'd wait.
Dude, it's the most. Every day Rob Pelinka has his job is a day too long. Like,
it's pretty wild.
How the fuck is? I just don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Nobody wants to play for this team because they are, dude. Jeannie Butt, like that's what bothers me. Like everybody's like, oh, nepotism because they drafted Bronny. I'm like, the team owner is nepotism. Like
the whole
the whole organization, the
nepotism all the way down.
Like what? Like so what?
Oh yeah.
It's
That's
just
all it is.
Rob Pelinka is horrible.
Bad.
Like Klay Thompson chose less money to play for the Mavericks.
Oh
yeah, he wants to go. He's like, I have a better chance of getting a ring with the Mavericks.
Dude, that shit never fucking happened back in the day. Nobody was taking less money to not play in fucking LA.
Fuck no.
They're like, I got offered a contract to play for the Lakers. I'm playing for the Lakers.
I'm going there.
Now they are a joke.
With the best player in the league? Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it is sad. And it's going to be so sad once LeBron leaves. Like, man, LeBron, you had to get your kid drafted to that team. That's the only way you fucked up here, LeBron. Like,
yeah,
you're going to let your kid get drafted to that team. Oh, well. I mean, you got your kid drafted to the NBA.
Yeah, he got his son to the NBA. I mean, not quite as successful as LeVar Ball did it, but...
Nah, all right. Now, people being mad about Bronny getting drafted is dumb.
Which one do you think is the better dad, honestly?
LeBron by 1,000.
Not even close. Not even close. Yeah,
people being upset, like, that is so dumb. Like, it's cool. It's really cool that you get to see LeBron play with his kid. Like, why aren't people like, that's pretty cool, right? Is that
it's awesome. And like
his kid's not terrible. It's not like
I've had people
the 55th pick. What people trade those picks for cash. Like, who gives a fuck?
I've had people tell me that they're like, Bronny's gonna be a bust. And let me go ahead and stop that. He can literally not be a fucking bust. All this kid can be is a fantastic draft pick. There's no risk in this.
This is calling a 6th round draft pick in the NFL a bust. You're like, he's a 6th round draft pick. What the fuck are you talking about?
That would have been like fucking. It's almost the equivalent of Brock Purdy.
Work.
Yeah, like it's not a "I told you so" gotcha moment that this if he doesn't succeed. Like it is very rare that a 2nd round pick in the NBA is fucking good or great. And same people bitching are probably not realizing that fucking Giannis has had two brothers in the league doing the same fucking thing.
I mean, dude, it's cool. It's cool. We all think it's cool when the Watt brothers got to play together in, Pittsburgh. It was great. It was like, okay, one of my youngest sports memories is Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. playing together, right? Like,
yeah.
And I thought that was great. Now, of course, it is a lot different because Ken Griffey Jr. is much better than Bronny was. He's like much better at baseball than Bronny was at basketball.
The Lopez brothers who were fun to watch.
Wasn't Senior or the manager not playing?
It was cool as hell. Was he the man? Either way,
they were together. They played 1 year.
I thought they played together for They did play together.
I think that first year.
Gordie Howe played with one of his.
Because they were both in the outfield, both Griffeys. Because there's a story of a Senior getting mad at Ken for doing a flashy play and showing him up. Because he was waiting on the ball, and then Ken just ran over and took the ball from him.
But yeah, like we're all so this is cool. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like it's taking a spot from somebody else. No, dude, if you're taking a spot from somebody else, there's there's other ways to get in the NBA, and if you're that good, you'll find your way there. Like.
Yeah.
You can go play overseas. You can play D-League. Like there's options.
Yeah, I don't. Sports is one of those things where I don't buy that there's some dude who just never got noticed. That's
not exactly.
I don't believe in that. Not in this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't get noticed, then you were trying to keep it a secret. Like,
dude, especially
if you were really that good.
Especially when it comes to like basketball and football in America, like they will go digging wherever they can to find that talent.
Well, anything. It's the easiest thing in the world. Like a special athlete is the easiest thing in the world to spot.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to know anything about sports or the sport that they're even trying to perform. You can tell.
That guy moves better than all of the other people around him. He moves and does things on that sports field better than those around him. Quite obvious, yeah.
Yeah, but had the Lakers did this in the first round, right? Like, had the Lakers spent their first round pick on Bronny after missing out on every free agent, even DeMar DeRozan, they missed out on DeMar DeRozan to the Sacramento fucking Kings. Are you goddamn kidding me? This Lakers team couldn't. They couldn't take a player from the fucking Kings.
I'm almost upset.
Come on.
I'm almost upset that a team that was slightly ahead of them in the second round didn't take Bronny and then try to force a trade with the Lakers.
A lot of the talks I heard was Rich Paul was calling around asking teams not to draft Bronny. Once the second round opened up, Rich Paul started talking to other teams saying, just don't take him. At this point,
and the other thing is, like, do you want to burn a bridge for the next 40 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just for a week of internet lulls.
Yeah. I mean, probably not, but I would enjoy it. I would really enjoy it if.
Yeah.
But I understand. Yeah, you want to keep the peace.
It really comes down to: do you really want to go into negotiations with Rich Paul for the rest of his career after doing this?
That's true.
He's got more power than the Lakers do at this point. Exactly. Like at this point, the Lakers ain't got shit on Rich Paul.
You're more afraid of
honestly, anybody who did that ran the risk of becoming the instant villain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody cares about pissing off the Lakers nowadays. That team's a laughing stock. I mean, that
kids.
Klay Thompson's dad calls games for the team. He is a Lakers legend, and not even he could convince his son to play there.
I mean, dude,
With LeBron James, who's arguably this top five player all time on the roster,
his dad. I
you
forgot.
couldn't get fucking Klay Thompson to come play for you. You
have
couldn't
his
convince
dad.
DeMar DeRozan, who is from Los Angeles, to play for the Lakers. Instead, he went to the Sacramento Kings. Chris Paul didn't even come over and ask. Chris Paul went to the fucking Spurs. These Spurs who were terrible the last 2 years to play with Victor Wembanyama.
Okay, the lake is a joke. Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
And
What are
LeBron's
they
just
gonna-
gonna have to chill there for his last 2 years, I guess, and hang out with the son.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool for him.
He's getting $50 million a year. I mean, he's getting a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it'll all be very cool, but they're not gonna be doing much.
No, they're gonna get swept by the Nuggets. Swept by the
Yeah.
Nuggets.
Dude, well, you know.
All right, can we be done with basketball now?
Yeah, can we be basketball? We talked about that.
Please.
Just one thing: Klay Thompson left the Golden State Warriors for the Dallas Mavericks after
we did
a
talk
Hall of
about
Fame
that.
after a Hall of Fame career
Hall of Fame career with
with the Warriors. He's going to have,
might be retired.
his number 11 is going to be retired by the Golden State Warriors.
So? Yeah,
They've already
probably
said
so.
that they said that they are. So I would just assume you won't see anybody wearing that number ever again, and that you shouldn't, because Klay Thompson, just for his heroics in Game 6s alone, deserves his number to be. Yeah, for 4 NBA title teams, he was amazing.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
A dynasty, P. I don't care what you think.
The Warriors are a dynasty.
Hey, good. You're about the three-peats in basketball. You're all like your basketball thing is like, oh, three-peats. You know, I think they're a dynasty.
They're a dynasty.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they got 4 in like 6 years. 7 years.
Something like that. But no, yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
The 4th one.
some people say they might not be, but you know.
let's do a little NFL,
Alright.
I guess.
Let's do NFL. Yeah.
Go NFL.
Something about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Okay.
God damn it, Aaron Rodgers.
So,
Aaron Rodgers that's my
guys,
natural reaction
guys,
to Aaron Rodgers. God
guys,
damn it.
anything that doesn't have to do with winning, we need it out of the building. Okay? We need to get that shit that's not about winning right the fuck out of the building. Where I will also be while I go and check out Egypt. Because I'm pretty sure there was some prehistoric humans or some shit that were giving the Egyptians some technology that may help them build the pyramids.
Ancient
some
aliens,
bullshit.
bro.
Anyways, it's the one time that this crackhead like journalist who turned like archaeologist, self-made archaeologist, says that he's free. So I have to get down there right now, and I know we have got minicamp, but the guy said he's only free right now. So I gotta go. I gotta go to Egypt.
I got to go.
But anything else that doesn't have to do with winning, out of the building, guys. Also, I might be having a vice president run here. I might have to gear up for that. But anything else, guys, anything else not to do with winning football games, out of the building. Can't have it.
You see the picture that went up this weekend of RFK Jr. and his wife eating a dog?
Eating a what?
A dog. It was a barbecued dog. It was like flayed open and on a fucking stick.
The fuck?
Goddamn dog.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He's also got worms in his brain. Did you hear him talking about that? RFK, not Aaron Rodgers.
No, yeah, no, right, yeah, no, the president that
you
he's.
could have been talking about either
Right.
or, but
You could have,
Yeah.
He had
to go in and have these worms taken out of his brain. I don't know the detail. It was him. It was him talking. Yeah.
RFK said this.
Yeah.
He said that he had
said
brain.
this.
He had
I'm
worms in his
not
brain.
reading a secondhand account. No.
Like I can believe that he had worms in his brain. Don't have
Yeah.
I don't I don't have a problem believing that RFK might have worms in his brain.
No, look up him talking about that shit. That's pretty.
Ah,
So
wild,
yeah.
wild.
So you got
Alright.
holes in his brain from worms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
And just like Aaron Rodgers has holes in his brain from football, probably. Like, you know, when they come together,
and
holes for
how
everybody.
can anybody listen to that dude talk for more than 10 seconds?
Which one?
RFK Jr. Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
They're on
I don't know if
ayahuasca.
I have. So
Like, just get the Stephen Hawking computer voice thing, because that's
that's more. That's
God. That's
yeah, more
unlistenable.
riveting. Mm. But what do we think about Aaron Rodgers going to Egypt?
I wish he would just. Is he still there? Can he stay there indefinitely? I don't care. Like, do what you want to do. Fuck the Jets.
I mean, like before I was like, yeah, like it would be really funny if all this goes really really awry once the season hits, and now I'm like, if this doesn't go fucking right into the toilet as soon as the season, I don't believe in anything anymore. It's like they've done everything wrong.
They always
Everything wrong.
I
Everything
mean,
that you're told not to do in sports, this fucking guy's doing it.
it's wild.
And
It's
pe-
wild.
If it works out,
It is wild.
My thing is, people are complaining about LeBron James and the fucking Lakers, and look at this asshole here with the Jets. I mean, LeBron James ain't doing nothing like this. The way LeBron James is talked about, this is how you would the shit you would expect out of LeBron to be doing.
Dude,
Is all I'm
every
saying. The way they talk about
offseason,
him.
every offseason, it's like a different. Where's Aaron Rodgers that is now? Like, is he in a darkness retreat? Is he off doing ayahuasca somewhere? Or now he's in Egypt? Like,
Is he
and it's
saying
always-
something ignorant on television?
I know it's always his fucking story. And it's
We got rid of
goddamn
one.
ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I just.
And I don't know if it's going to have any bearing on what happens, you know, in a couple months. I don't know if it'll actually pan out to mean anything during the season, but how can you try to hold the rest of your team accountable as a leader, right, on that team?
this is
When you're skipping out on mandatory minicamp to fucking take a vacation to Egypt.
it's these kind of things that keep players from finding that extra thing when you need it.
Right.
Like when your leader needs that fucking, like they need you to make that play. Why am I going to go make that play for this dude?
It's just, yeah, dude. It
What a
shows you like
good question.
that. Yeah, you're right. It's that little bit of that little extra, right? Like,
Yeah.
what makes this guy a champion and this guy not? Even though that looks like talent wise, they're the same. You know, why can this guy do it over and over again? But
Not
this
even
dude
like not
can't?
even in sports. When you have like anybody like at a job, if there's a leader who's saying one thing and then doing the complete opposite, you're out. You're
Yeah.
immediately out.
Yeah.
Like I'm just
You're done.
Oh.
So.
and on a fucking football field where you're literally playing with your
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to have a
your life.
bigger impact than does he play well through the season. It's like how much are these guys? Yeah, how does it impact your leadership on the team?
Yeah.
So, and it's just another. It feels like here we go again, right? We're on the same fucking merry-go-round with Aaron Rodgers every year, right?
Like, do any of
Off-season
our
drama.
players make some of the amazing plays that they've made if they've thought Patrick Mahomes was a bad leader?
Right.
Yeah.
If they didn't believe in him, like players like the players will lay out for that catch or
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we'll see. You know, this will be nothing if they're good. But if they're not, this will be everything. Right?
Yeah.
We'll come back to this. We will be revisiting the story.
So we're going to come back to this story again. This is not the last one we talk about.
This is potentially like one of the most disgraceful ends to a career.
I mean, we'll see what happens, right? He's still
Like on their way out of the league, like their last
if
year.
nothing. If the Jets, if his tenure with the Jets goes, leads to nothing, right? Especially not even a playoff appearance, man. If they can, but or even a playoff win. Like if they make the playoffs, but
And it's not
immediately
even just
lose,
about the winning and losing. It's just all the bullshit that went along with it.
yeah, he has to win a championship at this point, right? Or at least
Like,
get him to a Super Bowl. He has to get him there.
Like you'll be able to directly blame Aaron Rodgers for 2 years of Jets problems
More.
because
But here's my thing.
If he doesn't, if this doesn't work out,
from Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh, they've got a great fucking team.
if this doesn't work
They
out,
really do.
though, they have to start over. Like this isn't just like 2 years down the drain. It's 2 years, and now we're probably firing the coach. We're probably
Robert Saleh would
You're
have been fired.
burning through rookie contracts.
Robert Saleh
Right.
would have been fired had it not been for Aaron Rodgers after last season. Like, don't get that twisted. Robert Saleh is not keeping his job.
and now you have
They
to
don't
try
think so.
to,
Defensive rookies of the year are now in year 3 of their contracts.
and now you
Yeah.
have to try to
Yeah.
rebuild.
that's
Exactly.
big.
Yeah. So can you convince those young guys? With this whatever new regime you bring in, can you convince those young guys to stick around?
Last year was just
Not
a huge
like
wasted year. Now you have to recoup on that. Man, it's tough to think about.
This is really make or break for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is the
yeah.
clean house
Yeah,
moment. Like
everything
if you don't succeed this year, they are cleaning house, bro, on the coaching staffs at least.
Yeah, and then you're starting with another quarterback next year.
Yeah, definitely would be with another quarterback, and you're not going to be.
Coach, coordinators.
I think about like that this golden generation of players that they have right now
Are going to be into their second contracts.
completely wasted.
Yeah,
playing
Brees-
under, like having
Yeah,
absolutely zero consistency in their offense.
You have to decide, make a decision on Brees Hall here coming up soon, because I think
Yep.
he's going into his third year and he doesn't have a fifth-year option. Yeah, dude, it's bad news for the Jets here soon. They're about to spend a lot of money on players that they've only seen lose.
Yeah, and if they get let's say they get a good rookie quarterback, like, what's the turnaround on that before they're a competitive team again? 2 years.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
all those rookies are gone.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if the Aaron Rodgers thing doesn't work, not only did they waste the 2 years with him, then it's at least a couple more rebuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not in a good position.
The Jets is the Jets, guys. What do you mean?
Yeah, they've never been in a good position in my life. The last time they were Mark Sanchez.
2 years in a row,
But
AFC
fumble.
Championship game
Yeah.
appearances.
Yeah, but that's the best
Jets- and the
situation the
Jets-
Jets have been.
The Jets are very different from those other loser franchises, and I cannot find a reason to like the Jets at all.
I
Not
cannot.
really.
I can never find a reason to root for them.
Not too much. I mean, man, that year, the 1 year when they had Mark Sanchez beating Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was wild. And then losing.
Good nuts.
Yeah.
It was
That
so
was.
not Jets, but then of course they lost in the
Completely.
AFC Championship games, and it was Jets, and then
Yeah.
fell apart after those couple of years. But that was interesting.
It
Rex
was.
Ryan years.
Those Rex Ryan years were definitely interesting.
Rex Ryan years.
All
All right, what do we got next?
we got a sad one.
Ooh.
Vikings corner, 4th-round pick, Kyrie Jackson, dying in a car accident the other night.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
I
he's
hate to see that, man.
24-year-old rookie. Him and 2 other young men were in the car with him. All
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, man.
2 of them. The Kyrie and another were pronounced dead at the scene, and then the third was pronounced dead at the hospital. So,
Dang, all of them. Oh my god. Are there any details on it, or is it just all we know is car crash?
they were
There was one drunk driver. It was not.
not involved. Not the three that were deceased.
Yeah.
That makes
They were at a high rate of speed. Apparently tried to change lanes, fucked it up, ran the three off the road, hit another car.
Oh my god! So they were killed by a drunk driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were killed by a drunk driver.
Right. That
Yeah, that's terrible.
makes it even sadder, right? Like,
Yeah. So it's a tough time going on there, and thoughts go out to them. Sucks.
no man, young guy, just about to be in the best part of his begin the best part of his life, you know.
Yeah, they're slating him as a starter
Yeah.
for the Vikings this season.
Ouch.
Yeah. So.
Well. Okay, that's you know.
Yeah,
man,
yeah. Sad point, and then now we gotta.
all the what are the the thoughts and prayers and the good vibes and everything.
Yeah, the good vibes. You know, we give them that.
Okay, well, yeah, we won't end it on a downer.
No, we won't end it on a downer. The good news is Dak Prescott, guys, is out of his walking boot.
Oh.
Yeah,
Dak
guys.
Prescott was in a walking boot. How much do we care?
I don't care at all.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, though, is no longer in a walking boot.
Good for him. All right. Anywho.
And still has not gotten paid.
No, he ain't getting that.
Last time, oh well, I see. Maybe he was trying to get paid because the last time he got hurt, his leg got hurt. He got paid afterwards.
He did get paid afterwards, like because they saw how bad it was without Dak.
Maybe,
and I think that's what Dak.
Maybe he was trying to give him a little reminder, like, oh, ouch, my leg. Oh no.
I think this time Dak should try getting them to pay him by performing well.
Yeah, but Pete, it was like
the other
so
way
much,
did work.
but it was so much easier to not do that.
True, it just took a surgery to do it.
What if he performs it well in the regular season?
We've seen that.
Yeah. You've paid it too. You've paid for it as well. You want to do that again? Would you like to do it again?
He's gonna do it again. He
Would you
might
like
go out.
to
I think this
would
year
you
he
like
might
to
win a playoff game. He might win a playoff game this year.
Look, 3
Just for
straight
that bag.
seasons. 3 straight seasons of 12 win. It's a 12-win season. 3 straight. Okay. All right.
Yeah, dude.
With
That's a good.
with like I think maybe even a playoff win in one of those.
Has Dak missed the playoffs in a full healthy season?
Yeah, did he win a playoff game? I think he might have somewhere in there.
Yeah, no, they won a playoff game the year they beat Tampa in Tom Brady's last year.
This year, yeah.
Okay.
A couple of years ago.
See, they did win one playoff game, you guys. You got that.
Actually, no, they beat Tampa both times, didn't they? So they played them last year and the year before. I think.
No, because he's only
one game. I thought they won one game this year.
Tom Brady only lost to Dallas once in his career.
No, I know, but Tampa
it was his last one.
But Brady
Right.
wasn't their quarterback this last year.
Philadelphia played them in the first round, and they beat us. And then Tampa Bay lost in the second round and Dallas wasn't involved.
The Lions, right?
Lions, yeah, the Lions beat Tampa.
He's 2-5 in the playoffs.
Okay, so he has 2 wins.
He does, but one of them happened early on.
One of them was
Yeah.
in 2018 and one was in 2022.
So that's 7 years of playoff appearances. That sounds like about his whole healthy career being in the playoffs. I think a lot of teams would pay a lot of money for a guaranteed playoff appearance every year.
He
I mean,
beat,
it's a little better than Kirk Cousins.
beat the Seattle Seahawks in the 2018 season.
Boom.
Cha-cha.
Okay. And how many times has he lost to the 49ers or the Packers? Is it the Packers that he always loses to? It's probably the Packers.
49ers. Right?
I mean, he lost to the Packers this year, right? They lost heartbreakingly this year. I think they've lost to him a couple times recently.
Yeah. Because remember, they did the 2 years in a row to the 49ers. Or the 49ers 2 times in a row, I think.
The Packers lost to the Niners a few years in a row, right? Because the Packers lose to the Niners heartbreaking.
But the Cowboys did the Ezekiel Elliott at center was against the 49ers, and then the year before that they had the Dak quarterback draw against the 49ers.
Oh, those were both against the 49ers? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the 2 most embarrassing ones were against the 49ers.
Okay. I just remember Aaron Rodgers losing, those championship games. One of them was the 49ers. A few.
Hey,
and they
the
just
49ers won more than one playoff game in those years.
Yeah.
Sometimes they went through the Cowboys and then the Packers.
Good point. Okay. We got Ayuk. Are we finishing up with Ayuk?
Fucking Ayuk. Yeah.
Man, this guy's entertaining, isn't he?
He is. Just send him to the Commanders already. He's already got their playbook and everything.
So you sent it. You showed us this where he tweeted out. He posted a photo of their practice
Video.
Now, this was a practice, and this was sent to him. This wasn't a practice video that was already out there for anybody to grab. This was a practice
Apparently it's
video.
good to him from Jaden Daniels.
And Jaden Daniels
is the second overall pick in this year's draft.
No, I got that.
Who played with Brandon Ayuk at Arizona State.
But the implication here is that he is sending Ayuk
the footage
tape
Yeah.
that is not supposed to be made public.
You would think not. You would think that is supposed to be kept.
Is that what's
between the
happening
two.
here? Or...
That is what it looks like to me.
But he also wants to be on the Commanders. He wants to get traded to the Commanders.
I've never heard those words before in my life. I've never thought those things before in my life. I never thought that I'd hear those. So, it's weird to me that a player would actively try to get sent to the Commanders, but apparently that's what it looks like.
But why would you post, if you're not supposed to have that film, why would you post it?
It doesn't seem like it's very smart, does it? Maybe Jaden Daniels doesn't want to be on the Commanders. Sure? He's trying to get off the Commanders. Maybe it's the other way around, and we're just misreading this whole situation.
Are we sure this film isn't?
Yes. Here's my 2 problems with, when I think about it a little bit more. Is number one, they just had a rookie minicamp where these it's filmed by the media, not all of it, but a lot of it. And number 2, this is from Duff Kleiman. Now, I believe that Brandon Ayuk tweeted that photo out, and it is what it is. But I need to hear some confirmation that that's actual practice film that is for Jaden Daniels' eyes only. Because that could be easily readily available film from YouTube.
Because it didn't look like a YouTube browser.
It could be. I don't think this would be something he shouldn't have. If it is, that's wild. Otherwise, it's just something to try. He's trying to impose a trade again because he said, he's mentioned them before, right? On the Pivot podcast, he said, if it's not with the Niners, then the Commanders, and not if it's the Commanders, then somebody else. But he's actually mentioned them as a destination. You guys who are all looking down at your phones right now.
It's on. Yeah. It's being this story has been picked up by.
It's been picked up by a lot of people, but I'm not seeing anything like.
Yeah, and when I'm looking up at the tabs at the top of that actually looks like it's internal.
That's what I say. It looked like it was all 22 shit, you know? Like, it looked like...
Yeah, because this is it's so all the teams have a contract with PFF.
Yeah.
And so they get data from PFF that is way different than what you can get, like what you can buy from their website and whatnot. The actual PFF stuff, like they're connected to all the teams, and you can see the PFF label on a bunch of those tags, so you can look at the offensive team tape, defensive team tape, and it's all labeled PFF. So yeah, this is probably all internal.
A game clock and all that shit on there. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
that shit looks pretty official there.
So yeah, that's probably a problem. This is the kind of shit that gets you blackballed.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Ayuk's probably a little too good.
And Jaden Daniels was too high of a draft pick to get blackballed this early. But, wow.
Yeah, man.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's
I don't know, like if you're the team, like,
what's happening exactly. Because he wouldn't just.
I don't think the NFL is obligated to do anything here.
No, I don't think that there's...
It'd be like the team owner, and like, what does the team owner really want to do about it?
This is more... The Commanders team owner could be more upset that Ayuk got said that... Put this out there, but...
I don't think it's anything he shouldn't have.
Ayuk's really not at fault if it was just given to him.
Yeah, I mean... You can't fine Brandon Ayuk if you're the Commanders, but you can trade for him and then fine him, maybe? Or you could just trade for him and have him play for your team. And that's a big enough
How
punishment.
could you trade for him if he's doing that? I don't think it's something he's not supposed to have necessarily.
Yeah, we'll see how this one really plays out. There
think-
could be more that comes out.
I don't think that's what it is because he's trying to lure himself over to the team. So I think it's more about him just trying to get himself off the nine or trying to give himself a new contract.
Yeah, boy wants to get paid. He sees that money going around to the receivers. It's like Tyreek. Tyreek's trying to get paid too.
Do you pay him if you're the Niners? I probably don't. You already
No!
pay Debo, you pay Christian. You
I-
have to pay Trent Williams, or you already
But-
paid Trent Williams.
But here's the problem: if you start not
Or
paying
Kittle.
these guys, then you're eventually going to have to show the world that Brock Purdy, if Brock Purdy's a product of this system or
That's
not.
the thing. Okay, hold on.
That's one of the problems. Is
You're gonna have to pay Brock Purdy.
Is going to stay. Like
It's either you pay the weapons around him, or you eventually have to pay a quarterback.
You've already paid enough weapons around him. You've already paid enough.
Exactly.
Christian.
They're gonna just draft it.
Debo.
They're gonna draft another one with the last pick in another draft, and that's gonna be their next quarterback.
They're good at and they are good at drafting wide receivers. So they'll get maybe draft wide receiver.
yeah, they
Also,
drafted Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah,
They
they
have
drafted
to
your boy
think-
out of Florida.
They have to think about fucking about Brock Purdy's contract coming up. That's going to be a lot of money. A lot of money.
That's
You gotta get Fran.
is that just a 3-year deal for 7th rounder?
No, it's still four.
Still
I
four. I
think it's
believe.
still a 4, but that's after next year they have to start. They have
I
to get
believe-
something done.
I think that he never had any guarantees in his contract. Is the thing with a 7th rounder. Shit, dude. If I'm the 49, I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers play him 1 year on the franchise tag, and draft a guy in one of the mid rounds and replace him with him. And they just continue never paying a quarterback real money.
That'd be pretty. Cool.
I don't know about that.
Kyle Shanahan's made it to 2 Super Bowls with not really good quarterback play.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, not bad.
Um,
Like, I don't mean that. Without like an elite level quarterback. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
Like, he's
so
had good
this
quarterback.
guy's light years ahead of Jimmy G.
They've had good quarterback. Jimmy G played well in that season leading up to the Super Bowl. I mean,
He threw it like. Didn't they win one of their playoff games by having him throw it like 5 times though? Like
that was more recent. That was after the Super Bowl run.
it doesn't. It is what it is.
I think still stands like Brock Purdy is light years ahead of Jimmy G.
Yeah,
Purdy
he really is.
is ahead of him. He also had Christian McCaffrey. Big piece.
Jimmy G had Christian McCaffrey for a little bit, and
Like 2 games.
but he
like,
didn't look that
2
great.
games.
Yeah, and then Brock Purdy came in and looked better. Didn't give us his job back. I don't.
I don't know. Jimmy G didn't give a fuck there at the end.
Well,
Jimmy G was just
made too
there.
much
So
money.
He also didn't give a fuck when he played for the Raiders.
Yeah, they continue not to give a fuck in Las Vegas.
well, would you?
Right.
No, I suppose not. If I was given free whores for,
Dude, yeah. You got the
Yeah.
if you got the kind of payment he got in Vegas, like, it'd be hard
Las
to
Vegas.
concentrate on football.
They saw what he was when he went there. I mean, he didn't shock the world by playing worse. He got hurt like Jimmy G does. Just
Right.
enough.
if I was Jimmy G, I'd I'd have made that whorehouse and just install a glory hole for me. So I don't even have to interact with these girls. I just put my dick in and go on about my business.
I'm gonna come back this time every day. I expect one of them to be right.
Yeah.
I want a different whore here.
Yeah,
each
that's the
day.
thing. It's the Jimmy G hole. Like nobody else uses it. So
Nobody else.
you know whose dick is poking through.
See, the funniest part is this is typically one of those things like when we edited, it would get cut out. But we're live on YouTube, so this is just going straight up on there. It's raw dogging its way onto.
It should. The Jimmy G's personal glory
Glory
hole
hole should be on
needed
YouTube.
to-
That should be
needed to
discussed
stay
in
there.
YouTube world
should
forever.
not be taken out.
You're
If
right.
you're going, if you went to a whorehouse, would you really want to interact with the girls? Like you just want,
Okay.
I just want the thing, and I want to go.
Hey, I'm sure some of them are very nice ladies. I don't know.
I'm sure. No, I'm not saying that.
Some
I
of
just-
them
I
are
don't-
lovely individuals.
Lovely, lovely ladies.
I'm not gonna waste energy. I'm not trying to date these girls.
Hey, look, man. You know, there's if you can make 6 figures a year by right.
Well, sooner or later, they're
Yeah.
gonna be some of those girls will be making more money than Jimmy G. So
Facts.
You know, whenever we initially started talking about Jimmy G, the thought popped in my head. I was like, we've probably done it then, guys. We're talking about Jimmy G. But then we continued on and we started talking about whores in Vegas and Jimmy G glory holes. And now I am assured we have done it, boys. There's nothing left to talk about this week. So as always,
I think we did.
thank you for watching.
Hour. How'd we do it?
Shout out to those whores in Vegas.
that's because there was nothing to talk
Like,
about.
comment, subscribe. Shout out to the whores in Vegas, as Sneaky
Shout out
just
to
said. You're doing the thing out there.
That's a tough
We're-
job.
We're huge fans.
Sex worker.
What? Sex workers. Yes, sex
Sex
workers.
workers.
So the sex
Yes, yes,
workers
yes.
in Vegas.
I'm very pro whore.
Pro. Yes.
Sex worker.
All right. We're huge supporters. Just kidding. Not literally. We don't literally like.
No.
We don't. He's like, I'm married now. Anyways. Okay,
Let's
we
get
did
out of
it.
here, boys.
All right.
That's
Have a
it.
good night, guys. We'll see
Good
you next
night.
week, maybe, or the week after that. Who knows? All right.
At some point.
Later.